they're in. So we are moving on towards actually publicizing it and moving on to the main public to actually be catering to the people that it's actually invented for. So talk to us about how do you think it should be implemented? How should it be introduced to the public for them to be accustomed with the very idea of having a steel base instead of a rubber tire?
This is actually in the main core of the tech transfer phase itself. And the most difficult part is licensing and commercialization. Of course, patenting, having an invention issued, is a very difficult and a very lengthy stage, loaded with legal, details. But once you get your patent issued, if you just sit down, relax, the patent doesn't worth anything if you don't, utilize the benefits of it.
Right.
So commercializing, making this, product appealing for the customers, making it more attractive. This is what we call the proof of concept phase in the technology transfer process. What we are doing at the moment in King Saud University, we are working very closely with the inventor. By the way, the inventor is not from King Saud, so we are promoting outside inventors from King Saud to come up and give them a helping hand with respect to technical and legal issues. We are now heavily involved in the proof of concept stage. This invention has undergone 2 phases with respect to prototypes. So we have already produced 2 prototypes. At the moment, we are working with 1 unit inside King Saud University. It's the Institute for Advanced Manufacturing, and they are working on producing more advanced prototypes. We are aiming and hoping those prototypes will be, attractive for the potential licensees, which will be, businessmen or companies. Then we could license them. Of course, as a university, we are not supposed to open factories for every invention we do.
Right.
At least we could do a startup company for the inventor, and once it is, very mature, there will be what they call, somebody will acquire it, what they will call capturing or acquisition.
Right. And with this, Dr. Khalid, another question that is just coming into my head is, of course, when it comes to the commercialization phase, we know that there are some leading brands of the tires. Now, those are practically the giants. We know them the world over. Now, is it so that, let's say I am the one who has invented this particular invention, even though I have not. This invention, let's say, is mine. And of course, I'm asking King Saud University to help me to actually produce it, even into the very phase of creating a module, which is going to be my ground on saying this is my invention, even the very first prototype of it. Now, once that phase is done and King Saud University actually likes and accepts the very idea of it, the next step is, of course, moving on towards the commercialization. Now, what is it that is supposed to be done? Am I, the inventor, supposed to talk to the companies and give them my idea and tell them if they're going to be accepting it or not? Or is King Saud University going to be doing that for me?
Your question is actually related to the who owns the patent. For every patent, there is an inventor. And if the inventor is not supported by anybody, if he is a standalone inventor, he is not employed, whatever, or he is not a researcher in a research facility, he or she will be considered also as the owner, or in some countries they call it the applicant. Okay? But with respect to this invention, the inventor is Dr. Khalid Rashid, who is a very talented guy in Saudi Arabia, and he has also invented so many inventions. And by the way, we are pursuing another invention for him. This professor, which is related to driver alertness when they, fell asleep during, highway trips.
Yes.
So the inventor himself, he applied for the invention, but he approached us because he knew that we are giving, support, and then we entered to the phase and we became the applicants. Right. So we, at the moment, own the application. But according to our own regulations and bylaws within King Saud University, and we are, keeping, a very basic, a very fundamental, objective is that we would like to be very attractive. That we need to create a very inventions and innovation so in the region. So our bylaws states that any rated 60 will be given to the inventors. Comparing this to what's happening in the United States, maybe many universities in Europe, the maximum they can get as inventors is around 15 or 20%. So hopefully, when we are successful, most of the revenue will be given to the inventor. So we are now, of course, the cooperation of the inventor is very vital and very crucial in this field. But when it comes to legal, transactions, legal, issues, we will do the thing, because we own the invention. And of course, inventions are owned for 20 years. This is the lifespan of any invention.
Right. with this, Dr. Khalid, since we have cleared on the very thought of who really practically owns the invention, now moving on towards the brainstorming part, because a lot of my friends are affiliated with the King Saud University, and it is amazing how any idea is actually entertained by King Saud University. So it is like motivating all of the young Saudis to come ahead with their bright ideas. We actually had the first Saudi car coming out of King Saud University as well, which was a huge milestone. Congratulations once again for that. But talking once again, let's say if a teenager has come up with an idea, and they have had no inventions before. It is a completely raw mind, it's a raw idea, and of course it needs some technical help from professionals. So is King Saud University actually having some kind of an incubation system for those young ones as well, for them to be actually stepping into the world of tech?
Yes, of course. You know, we have so many initiatives and units within King Saud University. Among them is the unit which I'm responsible for, the Intellectual Property and Technology Licensing Program. But there are also other units which give support and help to the inventors, the talented people. We have so many what we call innovation centers, where the inventors approach them, they think they need support, whatever, they do it for them. We have more than 6 incubators, 2 of them in the girls section in Al-Malaz and Alaysia. Some of them are dedicated for IT applications, some of them are for wet labs, for dry labs, for engineering applications. We also tend to educate people in the part of entrepreneurship, because inventors, they are supposed to be capable of having so many talents with respect to, you know, commercialization, doing, you know, negotiating, marketing, options, whatever. So we had many cases when we had invention disclosures disclosed by people as young as 11 years old. And we give them support. Sometimes you see, or you look to the idea, you see it's very plain, very, you know, broad, without giving technicalities. But we don't tend to follow the negative approach. We say, no, your application is not patentable, we are sorry. We tend to give advice in our reply, and most of the cases we, you know, transfer them or refer them to other units within King Saud University so that they could give them support. And we had some positive cases where after maybe 2 or 3 or even 6 months, this very inventor approached us again with a very mature invention, which is, you know, worthy and capable, and it helps us of, you know, drafting an application form, and we already did file some applications which underwent or undergone the same loop or the